I'd say day to day with the quad injury. We'll see how this week goes. Dylan Gabriel cleared concussion protocol. Aiden Huntington has that quad injury. Brendan Bates with the ankle injury. I'd say both those guys are in the weeks. So they'll out this week. We'll see how that goes over the next couple of days. I'll have a better sense.
I want to thank the Cleveland Browns and the GM Andrew Berry for drafting me and giving me an opportunity to fulfill my dreams of playing in the NFL. But I'm going to have to decline this draft pick because they drafted Dylan Gabriel before me, and I will not be embarrassed like that. I'm not some third or fourth string quarterback you can just bring in to be made fun of. Not to mention Cleveland is a boring-ass city, as everyone knows. Even their own LeBron Diddy James left that city to go to Los Angeles.
Look at this. Kevin Stefanski just announced Shedeur Sanders as the starter. But did you catch what he didn't say? Shedeur will start this week. No explanation, no justification, just a cold, matter-of-fact statement. And then boom, the source drops the bomb. I feel like Kevin Stefanski was forced to name Shedeur the starter. I feel like this was a move that Jimmy Haslam set in place. This wasn't a coaching decision, guys. This was an owner's decision. The moment those ticket prices started tanking, Haslam made a phone call, and Dylan Gabriel's starting job evaporated into thin air. We're talking about a franchise quarterback getting benched not because he played bad, but because the business side of football demanded it. Buckle up, because what I'm about to show you is how NFL politics just crushed a young quarterback's confidence and handed Shedeur Sanders the keys to a franchise that might not even want him there yet.
All right, Mary Kay, what do you got?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask if Shedeur was going to start, but now that you announced that for us, just when you went back and you looked at the film, what were some of the things that you felt that he really did good, other than the obvious? We know that he pushed the ball downfield a little bit, but what were some of the other nuances of his game?
Well, obviously, first start for any young quarterback, you're always going to make sure that the operation is how you want it. And I thought by and large was good. There's things that we can clean up.
I'm not going to lie. I got carried by my running backs and my defense, but I'm going to pretend like I did everything because my stats look incredible. When was the last time that trash can Dylan Gabriel threw for over 200 yards? Please don't put me in the same category as that dude. Now I want to hear a reporter glaze me, please.
Hey, Shedeur Sanders, I'm going to glaze you hard. You are the GOAT, bro. Tom Brady couldn't even hold your nutsack. And thanks to you, I just more than doubled my funds on Kalshi because there is no way I was going to take Genocide Smith and the Raiders over you. Keep proving your haters wrong, King. Thank you.
That's right. Keep glazing me, but don't refer to me by my first name. This is your last warning, bro. You're going to call me King Sanders moving forward.
So let me paint the picture for you. It's Monday morning. Stefanski walks into the press conference, and right off the bat, he gives injury updates. Dylan Gabriel cleared concussion protocol. Great news, right? You'd think that means he's ready to roll. But then Stefanski drops the hammer without even blinking. Shedeur will start this week. No buildup. No, we had a tough decision to make. Just straight up.
Tweak and adjust and make sure that we're leaning into what our players do best.
And how did you see him make a jump in handling pressure / blitzes yesterday from that Ravens game?
Well, obviously, like we talked about, made a big play versus an all-out pressure. That's going to be something that you always have to anticipate. Defensive coordinators blitz young quarterbacks. It's just what they do.
And then we get to the real tea, the source in the audio. And this person clearly has insider knowledge. Straight up says, I feel like this was a move that Jimmy Haslam set in place. I told y'all a week ago when it come to them damn ticket prices, we're going to see immediate change. And immediate change is what we got. Guys, this is it. This is the smoking gun. Haslam looked at the empty seats, looked at the ticket sales plummeting, and said, you know what? We need a name. We need buzz. We need Shedeur Sanders starting now. Because let's be real, Shedeur brings the hype. He brings the media attention. He brings the primetime connection. And most importantly, he brings butts in seats. Now, before you come at me in the comments saying, oh, you're just making this up, there's no proof. Let me ask you this. Why would Stefanski bench a quarterback who just cleared concussion protocol and is healthy enough to play? Dillon Gabriel didn't lose the game. He didn't throw 5 interceptions. He didn't fumble on the goal line. In fact, if you go back to that Ravens game, Dillon was dealing with pressure left and right, and he was still making plays. Stefanski even praised Shedeur's ability to handle blitzes and all-out pressure. But guess what? Dillon was doing the same thing before he got hurt. So why the sudden change? Because Jimmy Haslam made the call. That's why. Let's talk about Shedeur for a second, though, because here's where I'm going to flip the script on you. Everyone's acting like Shedeur doesn't deserve this, like he's some nepotism baby riding Deion's coattails. But let me remind you what Stefanski actually said about his performance. That first one to IB was a very high degree of difficulty play. That's not coach speak for he got lucky. That's Stefanski acknowledging that Shedeur made a professional-level throw under pressure in his first start. And then he said, he has the mentality that he will make the adjustments to the speed of the game, make the adjustments to what people are giving us. That's not a guy who's just here for the hype. That's a guy who's studying. That's a guy who's learning. That's a guy who's hungry.
Hey, Kevin, I guess, is there any point with Miles? Is there anything he can do that would surprise you? And like Joel was even joking, 3 sacks is kind of a down day for him at this point.
Yeah, like I talked to you guys before, I would say watch Miles play the run. Yeah, and listen, I get that sacks get a ton of attention. You know, that's our game, and you know, everybody knows the stats.
But here's the thing. Context matters. Shedeur walked into a mess. This team was struggling, the offense was inconsistent, Jerry Jeudy fumbled at a critical moment, and by the way, Stefanski's response to that was telling. When asked about Judy's effort, Stefanski said, "I think he was setting the player in front of him up to make a move there." Translation, "I'm not throwing my guy under the bus." But then he followed it up with, "It was a lack of ball security technique." So which is it, Kevin? Was he making a move or was he careless? That kind of wishy-washy answer is what you get when a coach is under pressure. When the front office is breathing down your neck, you start saying things that sound good but don't actually mean anything. And let's not forget what the source said about Jerry Jeudy's mood. When we talked to him on Wednesday, he was very short with his answers. His interview lasted less than 2 minutes. Stefanski's response? Jerry's got the right attitude. He wants to win. Obviously, when you're not winning, that certainly can affect your mood. Guys, that's a coach admitting that his locker room is frustrated. That's a coach admitting that guys are not happy with how things are going. And when you have a locker room full of frustrated veterans and you're starting a rookie quarterback who's the son of a Hall of Famer, that's a recipe for drama.
Comfort level and those type of things. So it's only natural that players in that position feel more comfortable, and that's our job as coaches to continue to tweak and adjust and make sure that we're leaning into what our players do best.
And how did you see him make a jump in handling?
But here's where I'm going to defend Shedeur, and I want you to really hear me on this. The fact that Stefanski is sticking with him despite all this chaos, that tells me something. It tells me that Shedeur showed something in practice that we didn't see on game day. It tells me that behind closed doors, Shedeur is putting in the work. Stefanski said, you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. In the life of a backup player, whether quarterback or otherwise, it's a grind. You really got to work when nobody's watching. And guess what? Shedeur did exactly that. He stayed ready. He didn't sulk. He didn't complain. He prepared. And when his number got called, he delivered a win. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about Dillon Gabriel? He's the one who got screwed here. And look, I feel for Dillon, I really do. The guy cleared concussion protocol, he's healthy, and then he gets told, yeah, you're riding the bench now. That's brutal. But here's the reality of the NFL. It's a business. And sometimes business decisions get made that have nothing to do with who's the better player. Sometimes it's about who sells more jerseys, who gets more clicks, who makes the owner more money. And right now, that's Shedeur Sanders. But let's flip this one more time because I want you to think about something. What if this is actually good for Shedeur? What if Haslam forcing Stefanski's hand actually saved Shedeur's career? Because here's the thing, if Stefanski had kept Dillon in and Shedeur never got his shot, we'd be sitting here a year from now saying, man, remember when the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders and never played him? What a waste. Instead, Shedeur got thrown into the fire, and he responded. He won his first start. He made big-time throws. He showed poise. And now, whether people want to admit it or not, he's the franchise.
And now we got to build on it. We have to have a big one at our place. We're excited to be back home in front of our fans versus a very good football team who's playing tonight. So we'll do some TV scouting this evening. But we got to be about our business this week. Have a great week of practice. With Thanksgiving week, obviously, there's always different schedules and that type of thing. So we have.
And let's talk about that franchise tag for a second. Stefanski said, we have to have a big one at our place. We're excited to be back home in front of our fans versus a very good football team. Translation, we need to win at home and we need Shedeur to do it. Because if Shedeur goes out there and wins in front of the home crowd, guess what happens? The ticket prices go back up. The jerseys fly off the shelves. The media writes glowing articles about how the Browns found their quarterback of the future. And Jimmy Haslam gets to sit in his owner's box and count his money while Stefanski takes all the credit. But if Shedeur loses, oh man, it's going to get ugly. Because then the narrative becomes Jimmy Haslam interfered with the coaching staff and ruined the season. The fans are going to riot. The media is going to destroy him. And Stefanski, he's going to be sitting there like, I told you so. But here's the thing. I don't think Shedeur is going to lose. I think he's going to ball out because this kid has been under pressure his entire life. He's been compared to his dad since he was in middle school. He's had people doubting him, questioning him, saying he's only here because of his last name. And every single time, he's proven them wrong. So yeah, maybe Haslam did force Stefanski's hand. Maybe this whole thing was about ticket sales and business decisions. But you know what? Shedeur Sanders is about to turn this narrative on its head. He's about to show everyone that he's not just Prime's kid. He's not just a social media sensation. He's a franchise quarterback. And when he leads the Browns to the playoffs, and trust me, he will, all those people who said he didn't deserve this, they're going to look real stupid. Because at the end of the day, football's about winning, and Shedeur Sanders is a winner. Stefanski knows it, Haslam knows it, and deep down, Dillon Gabriel knows it too. The question is, do you believe it? So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment right now and tell me, was Jimmy Haslam right to pressure Stefanski into starting Shedeur, or did Dillon Gabriel get robbed? And more importantly, do you think Shedeur can actually lead this team to the playoffs, or is this all just hype? Because this conversation is just getting started and I want to hear your take. And if you made it this far, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're breaking down every move Shedeur makes this season. This is the beginning of something big, and you don't want to miss it. Let's go.